When both sides Shiurim the Kostilim means we trust in the edge. As we said there, in this Maamar, he starts speaking that Marin Kesh Madin Tachas is in Legani Simson. The Maamar before in touch as Chazrob, this man Chabdavid, we speak about Madin Tachas Rachat Simson, and Marin Kesh Legani Simson. But here, they speak both in Legani Simson, right? Marin Kesh Madin Tachas. And we say it because that's the Upsa from Marin Kesh. Dat wordt de sossen beëten, de sossen zullen met kabelen, de sossen met zaad, sossen beëten. Wat als dollar? Yeah? I don't know. Huh? Amongst de vrijen, deze aan een euro, als je eerlijk zo van maar naar de kees, maakt er een taak, en deze kan maken, de boven maken. Maar de twee dagen in de markt. Because even the dag that a matter in Tachas is written at Simpson. Now written at Simpson that the Gila La'achme came at Simpson, and my case is just in Be'etzin and written at Simpson. So they're both higher than world. Why do you call matter in Tachas is written at Simpson? Because from him, from the Gila written at Simpson, Gila La'achme, Chocolate Seth will come down Lach at Simpson. Oh, but there are two daughters in Mak. How do you call Mak the Yosh Mak the Chez? So how did you take Mak the Chez? It's different in every place of the Taich Mak the Chez. A Mak is a Yosh or a Mak of a Kor. Who beget the Gila Kopon. Mak the Chez, Mak of Ha'arachit, and beget the Gila Kor. We don't see this. Ik word maken van korven en maken van harakken. Dat is een ding van de Solomon bij.
Shiur and Ava.
Huh?
Shiur and Ava. The Shiur of Yura and Ava. Yura is from Reichuk, Ava is from Korv.
Okay. Alright, makes sense. Wij in zijn, wij die maken korven, maken harakken. Moest maar raakt met veel zegel met de amide. The Sheikh Rab was for Be'er Sheikh HaTalmid. In general, he's a Rab and this is a Talmid. If he would be Be'er, he wouldn't be a Rab and Talmid, but to a Chava, learning with a Chava. Since he's called a Rab, so his Seichel is higher, for Be'er than Sheikh HaTalmid. So how could you take Seichel from the Rab? Come from Samson, my Rabbi Seichel, the Eich HaTalmid Yichel Kabbalah Seichel. The Rab is in the Samson his Seichel. The Talmud should be able to Kabbalah Seichel. It's my spirit, but then in me as a Seichel. And then later on, when he learns with him the Seichel, Yesh Nechelik HaSeichel was Boris B'Shas B'Klei Makab B'Chitei. It's a part of the Seichel, the lower Madrig of the Seichel. That Talmud could take it in a good way and take from his Kalim. And so Talmud Teves some muscle, they should not see a Yuchid being made. The Talmud could take the Seichel in such a way that the Seichel becomes one with the person. The rule the time you take, hey, that's the whole big hey speaks about, the Ufta from Seichel, and Dalet speaks about Shabbat Di B'Mais, the hey speaks about, so you learn Seichel, that in Seichel, where the muscle and the maskal becomes one. The other one spoke about in the Sikha to the Bochen, the Pinset Lichton. So he says that one, there's a mile in Seichel Teire and every Seichel.
There's a what?
There's a mile in Seichel Teire and some Seichel. But in Seichel Teire, the maskal and the muscle becomes one. My Seichel picks around the muscle, the Seichel, and the muscle goes into my mind and takes around my mind.
What is the second part then?
So the Kashi is, so never Seichel that way. So why the Uche, it says in Seichel HaTeira. That's what the Rebbe is to say. Because Mazda, in the Sikha, to the Lichtel, to the Bochen, looks in Seichel HaTeira is, from Seichel, you learn science, you learn about the moon and the stars. So the stars are in the sky. The Seichel of the stars comes into your head. And you take around the Seichel of the stars, and the stars of the Seichel go into you and take you around. But where are the stars and the moon in the sky? Looks in Sechater is a Bakus. The Bakus is in your mind. The extra Indian is in your mind. That does in Pshat and time in Peg Hay. You probably walking in 10 times Peg Hay. But what the Ups in Peg Hay of Sechater, that the Bakus of the Sechel that goes into your head. Need the extra Indian, the Sechel, the extra of the Sechel. What is the extra from Sechater? The Bakus. In the world, the extra of the Sechel does not go into your head. The extra is staying in the sky or in the moon or in the car outside. It's about a car or it's about anything else. It's only the Sechel from the car, the Sechel from the moon. I think in the Torah, the extra in takes all around your mind. The mind takes in the inyan. But this is looks like another sign from just to
see this brought down halacha. And why does one have to stand up in front of Tal Chacham? Because he's the Torah. It becomes the essence, and we're standing for the Torah, not for the person.
Right. Kovetz says that this family, this paper, the Moscow becomes one. On the Kim Shurak Talmud Shloime Ha'arav, since he's not the Rav himself, he's only a Talmud learning from the Rav. He's not the Nisha Chelik not Seichel, Shipchons Makal Seichel B'Vat. He can't take the whole Seichel as it is from the Rav. Why? Because he's the Rav and he's a Talmud. So he's much higher than him. So there's a part of the Seichel, the lower part, that the Rav in front and the Talmud could take it inside and becomes one with it. There's a part of the Seichel that's too high for him. As he's now a Talmud, he can't take that Seichel. So that Seichel is Makif. What kind of Makif is it's called Makif HaKorah. I know why. Even the Zarchi will be capable. Even the part he doesn't take, now is the Ein Reich from him. It's close to him. Okay, the Muchem Maamar Razal, Ado Boin Shmir, can nicht adaite der Rabbi. So for a year, the Talmud can come adaite der Rabbi, know really what the Rabbi means. But it's a 40 years, the Talmud will come to the Seichel Pnimis. So what does this show? Imagine Imagine 40 years from now, he's going to teach him again the Seichel. But the Seichel he taught him 40 years ago is going to come into his mind. The higher part that he couldn't grasp then comes now into Pnimis. If Shadei had been much along with their boy Shnin, even after Shem Kaim, Shad after Layamud Allah. Till now he couldn't take it completely. I removed him, Shagam the Tchil, I love it, Zarchi. I'll show you based from Makkah. And they said, how did the Talmud come if for 40 years back from the Rav? And the Rav doesn't say the Seichel again. It's good. When the Rav says the Seichel, the Talmud learns and he hears it, and then he gets smarter, he's medayik in the words that the Rav told him. So in the Ashes, he hides the Seichel. He doesn't say another time the Seichel. But if the Talmud hears it on the Ashes, what the Rav gave him, so the Rav hides in the Ashes, he hides the Emek HaSeichel, and that's why he's medayik in the 40 years. That's why he said, by a Rebbe of mine, you have to know the Ashes Harab. The Ashes Harab is a Bakus. And that's how you come with Nimis to the real Seichel, because they hide the deepness of the Seichel in the Ashes.
You could say a very gash when you eat something, you don't get the nutrients yet. Only after some time do you get. So.
Right. So Kovetz, it seems the Rav doesn't say the Seichel again. But that a Talmud comes to the Pnimis from the Seichel from the Rav. Kim Shadei, Halmin Shalom B'Tnei Boy Shnin. Even not, Hashem Nekaim, Shadat, Be'omad Allah. I remove him, Shagam B'Tchil, I do it Zarchi. I'll show how you be from Makkah. Kim Sharab, Shiur Talmud. So, and the truth is, the Rav is not better for Talmud. And after the 40 years, he still stays by Rav, and he says a Talmud. The Talmud doesn't become a Rav. I have of the Rav. And show him, if a Rav, in Yom Ke'ilu, שגם לאחר בו נסמים לקמים שדעת את הרבי. says many things that he comes to die to the Rabbi, but there's still left a few things, even after 40 years, the Talmud still did not come to die to the Rabbi. The Heim is Makel Harach, that's Makel Harach. And it's eine Kabbalah in Yonim, it's eine Shakel, that's on the Klau. The certain Yonim that he never comes to it. And it's never comes to it, and it's never, and that has no Shakel to the Talmud. There's a certain thing that the Talmud takes right away in the communities. Then there's things that takes after 40 years. And then there are certain things, even after 40 years, it still doesn't come under the Rabbi. And that's called Makib. But since it's called Makib, means it has a Shaykhis thing. But Makib ha'arachik. The certain one, the Talmud never gets connected to it. That's not called even Makib. So there's one Indian which comes in the communities, one Indian the what Aboin Shnin, then there's a higher Indian that it's Aboin Shnin, he also can get it, but he feels the deepness into it, but he can't take it. That's called Makiv ha'arachik. Then there's certain Yonim, he'll never come to it. That's Chosin Be'etzim, he can't come to it. That he can't call it Makiv ha'arachik. Because Makib, you see, Makib means there's a certain connection to him, even from Makib. The thing they'll never get to it is not called even Makib. And that's a mitzvah singer from Arab, the Shwei Be'er to the Talmud, that even after 40 years, not only he can't get to it, but he feels there's a deepness into it, but even after that, there's things that he can never get to. Like the figure, but the story saying the story was going with Katja Fagan before he took him as a Talmud in Shiurim. The figure spoke to Yonim and said it's very deep in Yonim. The figure asked him, "Do you understand?" I don't understand. I know this very deeply speaking, but I don't understand it. So it's okay. If you understand it, it's deep, so you already have a shaykh to it. I can take it in the 10 minutes. Certain people wouldn't even understand it deep. He's speaking Spanish, huh? He doesn't know what he's saying. But this group that you understand that is deep.
It's a sheikh already.
So, it's like.
Or yeah, sure.
The thing that the Talmud could never get to it, you can't say it's makif. I feel when makif. How to listen now. Now, when we speak about Makva Kor, Makva Haroche, is in Yom Neshachet to Talmud. Now, the Shachet is based on Makva Haroche. That this thing that he understands right away, this Pnimis, the thing that he sees that a deepness when it comes to Achaboy Shnin, that's Makva HaKorib. Then there's a Yom, he can't even come Achaboy Shnin, but he knows there's a deepness called Makva Haroche. Then there's certain Yom, you can never come to it. You can't call it Makif Harach, also not. Makif means it's connected. It's not even connected, and even from Makif. Inside, you know. The Yuvin in your Makif Harach, שאם יש רוח, בקוקנו של Makif. בהגד משהו קורס, משהו מסרבי. דרך מצסחו, בביר כל שאין המקף, שגם הפיל pull also. That makif also has an effect on the person. It's called makif because it has an effect on the person. What's the dugma of makif that has an effect on the person? Dugma is a rainbow of the lamata. Because from the psari, from the person, from himself, the psari, he could understand how by the Eibishter, by the Eibishter. Which care by a person is in the Famaki, care Harotzen. Care Harotzen is called the Maki. It's called Maki HaKorib, you know. And this Tainuk is always Maki Harotzen, but this doesn't speak about Tainuk, not speak about it. It's Arech and Atik. That's makir kol and makir harachi. Both lachat tzimtzum. That's the time is also a makir. It's lachat tzimtzum. With the pnimis attic it says it's high, but harachi in time is usually makir kol and makir harachi. So given the dogma makir harachi. Yes, a person has the keches, the seichel in his mind, as he says here. The kol able l'pinyon. Every keach is mislabish in the able l'pinyon. My keach already be'ayin. Keach ha'hillich zol in a regel. Then you do machai, some klabish b'neich, some klabish b'lei, b'yadei b'regel. Each one has a different chayis. There's two things. As you speak of Chassidus, you have to understand. You see a chayis parati. What is chayis parati in Chassidus? Huh? Keches parati, man. Then the Srit Maamar says, except the kech parati, there's also a chayis parati. But in Tov Sheches, you ever learned? Beginning. Or some Gimel, all the Anshechen. Chayis parati, chayis parati. What the dogma of chayis parati? Keches. Right? Chayis clothing. The person's alive, not the person's alive. The highest part of life trying to say is the keches. Kecham sech be'neach, kech ahil be'regel. Sometimes it says that not only that is the highest part. Except that the kech part is also the highest part. The highest part in the mind, the highest part in the hand, the highest part in the foot. You ever learned Topshin Gimel? No. He brings a raya that accept a care party, there's also a chayis party. What the raya he brings? A person gets paralyzed, let's say. His hand is still a hand, even though his keach doesn't work in his hand, but still a lebbik hand. And that's a chayis party. Accept the chayis party that the person is alive, there's a chayis party. Good, you'll not see this. You have to learn. Saying and it doesn't say. But usually it says chayis party of the keches. As you said here, yeah. The every keach is a different keach. In the hand, a keach, and the foot is a keach.
So you're saying chayis and a keach are different?
Huh?
Chayis and a keach are totally different.
Yeah, it doesn't speak always of it, but on Maamar, it's Shigimel, you take a look at that. Yeah.
Which Maamar touched in Gimel?
The third Maamar there. The Topshin Maches, the whole Maamar speaks about the chayis party is the keches party. Because the keches, not only the keches are machayet the able also. So she brings a raya, the person is paralyzed, and the kech doesn't work. The hand still is a live hand, not only because you're alive, because the person is alive. The life of the hand, because there's a chayis party. Good, nothing good. Bein the day, na chayis and flabi be'meich, la chayis and flabi be'levi, iberag. Why every, since a kech pnimi, the meich, the keel of the seichel, the hand for the hand, and the foot is for the hand. Every kech has its place. That's called kech pnimi, right? Is gone in the halotz and the halotz on the house. And the person doesn't have a lesson to be masculine. He can have a kech on his mind, and he's lazy, and so he's not going to work with it. She's not going to understand this thing. So there has to be a lesson in the house. He has to want to be masculine. Hari, he wants to see. Hari, he want to go. So this is market. He doesn't understand what this lesson. He doesn't see because of the Ratzin, he wanted the Ratzin to see. The Ratzin pushes the keach that he has, that it should work. It should not be lazy and it should work. So the Ratzin has an effect on the person, on every keach, but it doesn't have an effect on the Eitim Tnimi. He comes into the keilah and it makes him see and makes him understand. Ratzin doesn't make a person understand. But if there's no Ratzin to understand, even though if you have a keich on his mind to understand, it's not going to work.
Like David
or it will work in a lazy way. It's not going to do. It has to be a lesson to say.
David Melech God's Yetzirah out of bed.
Right. And we speak what Rotzen has an effect, but it's made for fine. But I want you guys to know, in your Chassidus, you ever learn some of Bob? Lech Hanki Yedaitit? Schule von Rotzen in Time, huh?
I didn't get that far.
Okay. You know you'll get it. But come from, you ever learn Rotzen in Time, you can Lech Hanki Yedaitit, and by Year. What higher Rotzen in Time, we speak about, to Maamar. Why does a person need a Rotzen in Time? A person has a nefesh and he has keches. So you say, in the Kus, there's ein Sof, and there's a Tilis associated. In the middle there's Ketzer, tiny and Rotzen. What is tiny and Rotzen add to the whole social? Look, it's not to give to this Maamar, but you should know. But the truth is the nefesh and keches are very far away. Why should the nefesh come down to Seichel? Why should the nefesh go down to a regal to walk? Why? Because Seichel is a habit.
Because the nefesh needs
things. Because you need a memutza between nefesh and keches. The memutza of nefesh and keches is what? Time again, Rotzen. Just like in Mamayla, Ketzer, Atkenach is a memutza between yourself and Emunah. You learn this, you learn the Tzilis all of it. Why is finding a Rotzen and memutza between yourself and Emunah? Because the person has no shaykhs to Abram, or the person has no shaykhs to the world. So the first thing a person has to have a time. What is that time? When you learn under Maamar, not this Maamar, the Maamar that said it is Maamar that year, Basanta is article, Margaret is Irish, has we all know. What is time? And what does the person have time? Timing a person has in himself. Why do I have a timing to learn? Because I find myself in learning. I'm not going out of myself. Timing, as we say in Chassidus, is what? Tachseina shebemaytzum, and Arich is what? Then hit the Eish of Chassidus. And Sheina shebenatzolim, right? This is the mamutz of timing.
Could you repeat the last bit?
The Russian timing article is Tachseina shebemaytzum, the lowest madrige in Maitzum, and Arich is Hisheina shebenatzolim, the highest darge in Natzolim. Yeah. Because if a person doesn't have time, like if you see this last one, ain't a mile and ain't nothing higher than ain't in cases. Because a person has a nefesh, what shechet the nefesh should have for learning or to walk, or why should I want to go there, or why should I want to do this for? The person has to have a time. In time, I don't go away from myself. I find myself in the thing. That's called finiture of myself. I did not go away, and self didn't go away from himself. Why does he have timing up by a person? Why does he have timing in something? Because he finds himself in the thing. So he's not going away from himself. That's the first connection of a person to a thing. He has a timing in this. And since he has a timing, he can have a rotzen. A rotzen means hamshachas hanefesh to the thing. When time if you don't have hamshachas to a thing, you find yourself in the thing. You are finding in yourself. Rotzen is really hamshachas to a thing. Speaks whole city, speaks about rotzen is hamshachas to an Indian, right? Now, why is rotzen makif? There's no different a rotzen to seichel, a rotzen to walking, a rotzen to talking. Rotzen is hamshachas hanefesh. No different than a nefesh to speak or to learn or to walk or to go. It's the same rotzen. It's hamshachas hanefesh. Rotzen is gili hanefesh. Rotzen is not seichel. Rotzen is not midas. Rotzen is a hamshachas from the nefesh to a thing. Why should the nefesh have hamshachas to a thing? Because before he has a tainuk. The tainuk is in himself. Why do I have a shaykhs to this Indian? Because I find myself in this thing. Since I find myself in the thing, so there I can have hamshachas to the thing. Once I have hamshachas to the thing, I can have a faith in the thing that connects the person with the thing. Do you guys understand a little bit?
Yeah.
It's not if you don't be lay by some.
The problem is they're not learning. They're the Baishanan.
Yeah.
You have to be taught. It's okay to go in him. Azus playing like him.
So you learn less long to die. He speaks what's higher, what's in a time. Things to him, things to her. We sing the learning something what's stronger than time. That's on Gilde at time. When that's my time is higher than what. The sentence before the market attic is before Irish. So once we have a timing in the thing, you can have a rotten to it. You don't have a timing to a thing. Why should be on chocolate to the thing? Why should I want to go? Why should I want to learn? Or why should I want to? So before it has to be held at timing. Thing is not begoli, but like market has to be our timing in the thing. So rotten is like the gilui nefesh. Rotten is me. My nefesh wants this thing. It's not different. You want seichel. The same starkheit in rotten is the seichel, to machen the mishuge, to learn, to eat. But in rotten doesn't say what I want. Rotten is gilui my nefesh wants. So no difference. So if it's walking or going or seeing or looking, my nefesh wants. So there's no ishalkus for rotten. Rotten is the same rotten to every keich. In keich it becomes ishalkus. Because keich are his lapses. This seichel is beneach, midas is belev. And then why should the rotten be? Why should I have a seichel my meach? My rotten pushes the meach to understand. The seichel is the meach to understand. The rotten pushes me to want to walk. But now I'm not rotten to walk. I can't in the foot to walk. I'm not going up with it. I'm not rotten, I don't want. But why should you want? So the helm you have to have a time. Look, it doesn't say here, you learn once succeeded. Once a person has no time, you know rotten. And he has to learn. He has no time, he has no rotten, so what should you do?
He should drag his Yitzhak to the base medrash.
Yeah, so it says Chassidus, there's a form. It's called Das Atik. If you learn the Samachay Shiur, you think it's Kabbalah or different places. If a person has a keach to force himself to be miskasha to an Indian, he could take his nefesh and push himself to an Indian. I don't want. And some of brothers, I'm minding about it. Some of them. If you ever learn some of them, some of them. You guys should learn.
They should learn, but they're baishanim.
What can you do? So upon him, it says the person has to have a thing a person has to push himself. It has to be mekasher. A person has a care to be mekasher himself to an Indian. To force himself to be mekasher himself to Indian. I know this is important to me. I have no time, you have no what I want to do is what I do. A person has a care to be mekasher his etzem to the thing. So sometimes it says he'll get a rotten, he'll get a time. Even if it doesn't get, he could get attached to the thing. A person has a keach in himself. Just like das. In Geluim it says in Tanya that das is what? Keach is kashrus, is chavur. That's in Geluim. Then there's das anelam. A person has by hidden a keach of das. He could force himself and push himself to be makasher to it.
In America they say it's an acquired taste.
I don't know exactly what it said in America, but this was just a city. Remember, being told us, I still don't understand it, but I have to. So when somebody's in the midbar, he doesn't remember how it says in Shulchan Aruch, to do like this, to do like that. He goes around, and it's very important to him to do how it says in Shulchan Aruch. It's negay in nefesh to him. And he doesn't have a Shulchan Aruch, what you do. So if it's negay to him, and his etzem is mekusha to the Indian, he'll do what it says in Shulchan Aruch, and it's not a nef. Not because of the Yuvim, like Shabbat call other. He's tied to the Shulchan Aruch. He's not going to do different. And he said, we were young kids, 15 years old, and he was telling us this. I said, it's a net or it's hard, the Avisham makes it known. Okay, fine. I just bring it out. You think about it. But let's finish the us a little bit. Yeah, that's what you say. So even a lot is a market. Most of us משאב בכל מיליונים. שהוא נטיס הנפש, מקומפל לראות מכל ליבו, מהשאר שפה זה דבר מהחי, שפנים באבן, what makes that foot go is the כאחד, באבן של סלאשרה, אבל הפעולה כאחד פנים שיובר לידי פעם, כאחד פנים he should walk, or should understand, הוא עד אין הרוטן, שפיל פלוסן, אף שאין בסאשרה בקיל הרוטן זה המאקר. Rotten whole even bishari because it doesn't go into anything. But it has an effect, that's called market. Market HaKovetz, it has a cycle to the seichel, to the middle, and so forth and so forth. That's what we finished tonight. And Chabad Teves is tonight. Fine. No, I told you 100 times. What we had Chabad Teves that we remembers from the Rebbe, always in our mind, when Tosha Chabez, Chayel and Chabez, we saw the problem with Rabbi Yale in Betzid and Din. Came at 12 from Sunday, 10 to 8, the Rebbe is going to problem 8 o'clock. In those days, the Rebbe never had a sudden problem. But then we had a telephone from Betzid and from Sunday. Lucky they called us. So we ran, we were young kids then, we were able to make it in 10 minutes. And Gil couldn't run, he asked us to help him, to hold his hand. And we ran, and we came exactly 8 o'clock. As we came down, the Rebbe came down a minute later, and it was the empty shul. Why? So there was a chassan from a Bachi in Cleveland then, Leila Oleski, that married that night in Cleveland. All the older Bachi, there was not a lot of Bachi. All the older Bachi went on a bus to Cleveland. So it was empty. So we stood under the Rebbe, it was empty. We came in, we stood under the Rebbe. First, and then the Rebbe started saying, Teves Chayel, the letters not the Rebbe, that Chabad Teves is going to be 150 years from his disciples. The Rebbe said, we should learn Shulchan, we should be Machalak about Rebbe Shulchan, Chabad Teves, Netanya, Bachim separately, Mike separately. It was the whole Fabrengen, the Chane to Chabad Teves. We were all waiting, what's going to happen to Chabad Teves today? It's such a big hachon. I've been mentioned a few times, Chabad Teves. Chabad Teves was then Mitzvah Shabbos. Shabbos was Chav Gimel, Shabbos and Bochum. And Mitzvah Shabbos of night, Abdal Rebbe's Falkus and Mitzvah Shabbos, El Chabad Teves, right? It was Chabad Teves. Rebbe fought back by day, and Geschmackje fought bringing Shabbos and Bochum. And talked about nation. Israel, why was nation 40 years? In Midian, the Pasha did the same for Midian. Even though in Kabbalah it says, the Neshamas from Matantei were all Megogol in the saying of Yisrael. And certain Tzaddikim said, he remembered that he was Megogol in the saying for Yisrael. The Rav said, I was a Shetzler that ran away, that nation chased me to pick me up. I was that Shetzler. That's what the Rav said, yeah.
Who said that?
The Rav said, fine. He said he's a tzaddik, he wouldn't say something, even though Chabad was not close to him, but he wouldn't say something that's not true. But it was a nice Fabrein, beautiful Fabrein. When it was over, we were very down by ourselves. This one, we were preparing Chabad Teves, Hagodol, 150 years.
It's going to be sushi.
Yeah, it was very funny. But fine. We were waiting for Maya. Well, suddenly the idea, before my the Rebbe didn't come down to Fabrein, 25, the Erech HaMaksen, around 25 years to 10, the Rebbe didn't come down to Fabrein. His father. We know the Salkas says in the Grammar, it was the Erech HaMaksen, it wasn't 1030, it was the Erech HaMaksen. The Rebbe came down between 25 years and 1030, the Rebbe came down to Fabrein. The Rebbe came down so white, I never saw the Rebbe so white, like him. The next time we saw him so white, when he had the heart attack on the chest. Like this, I never saw the Rebbe so white. Came down white. It was in the other world, and his voice was not the same voice as every Shabbos, every Fabrein. He spoke 3 small Maamar, and Nesim Terim, and Kirbe, in the Denig with Me'esh. And the first Sikh was a very Himmel die Gesichter, der Rebbe of the Rebbe and Rebbe Yosef. You ask a bracha for your wife and your children and your families and everything. If you learn the Torah of the Rebbe, and make a verbringen, it's like giving a palm to a Rebbe. Rebbe said, we're giving a palm to a Rebbe now. Rebbe was so wise and so. Not only the verbringen was a sick sheikh, we sang all the women from Alter Rebbe, all 10 women. But Rebbe didn't move and didn't budge. Something like this. The Ritkin walked over to Yale later. You saw the Alter Rebbe was by the verbringen. Yeah, how can you call? And then the New Schwanz, they were arguing. The Ritkin time, he saw the Alter Rebbe. It was a hymnodic verbringen. And on Sunday again, they could be kishkot. Sunday again, we were verbringen with Yale and Betis and things. We finished earlier chords on 20 to 12. Coming back, half of the cliff from home, half of the cliff immediately was Shabbos from 11, we went into some Sunday. Before we go home, let's go into Sunday. We went to Sunday, the Blacham are running from all sides. I said, Blacham, as a young kid, what's happening now? One guy didn't want to answer, he was a big Blacham. So one Blacham told me, the Rebbe is going to Farbring now. Of course, it's 12 at night. We haven't assignated dinner that day. The Rebbe said they should let him know when the Shach comes back from the dinner. Then there was a Farbringen, with the Simon, Rebbe Shachanol, the Sachem Shebedisha, you know, it's in Kutisichet, and then there was the Simon Tanya, and there was the Simcha and Gedel and Eid. Make a big kiso. So the Rebbe said that since it was like in last top Shachar, the Rebbe said everybody should give, it was 200 years from the Bosanta, everybody should give $200. He also said now, everybody should give $150. In Top Shachar, he said $200 for every Baba Boss. So Bachar the learns only should give $20. But he said everybody should give $150. Bachar in the line, everybody should give $150. And then, after that, the Rebbe said, among the Legani, you say to a Jew, Partov, Yid davai a grosh, Jew give money. Everybody should empty out their pockets whatever they have. The Rebbe took a manila envelope, he emptied out all his pockets, put into a manila envelope in his pants, in his kapota. He said to give out envelopes all around the show. And everybody should empty out their pockets into this big envelope.
Ready?
I know a bucket next to me just borrowed that day a few $100 to pay his chayvah. Everything gave away.
And he was able to pay his chayvahs more than that.
Yeah, right. And then I know a person wanted to pay the chayvahs to somebody else. And we want to take it from them. Because everybody has to empty out their pockets here. Whatever they have in their pockets here. It's very special. Then the other says you should sing if you do a marker. And after you do a marker, he said this is the answer on the machshava of somebody. They say, I don't know, they say the story happened. There was not a Lubavitcher, where he became a Lubavitcher. He came that night, he was in the jewelry business, he came to pay a Lubavitcher $30,000 he borrowed by him, that he owes him for jewelry. He gave it to him before the break. Then the Rebbe says you empty out your pocket. He knows the guy has $30,000 in cash that he gave him before. That's not his money. He paid him for jewelry that he took by him. And he wanted to see if a real Lubavitcher is going to put it into the envelope or not. He was watching him. He was putting it into his pocket and he took it out. He was putting it in his pocket and took it out. It was hard for him to do it. So he has to pay with this money back. The jewelry that he owes people in the 47th Street. The money for the jewelry. It's not his profit. But the pill he put in, and then the Rebbe said, if you do a market, the Rebbe said, it's an einfach machshava. What somebody is thinking, eh? And the pill, the person later put in the money into the envelope. It was a special, very special for bringing that for Bar Teves. It was more young, I'm just saying. The Kiso was Shabbos by day, Mitzvah Shabbos, the time of this house. That's the Rebbe was so serious. And Sunday night was the Simcha Bishop of Rebbe. That's for Bar Teves, Top Shem, Chab Gimel, and Chab Dalet. You empty out your pockets?
Yeah.
Okay. But at least...
Remember, then we do.
Okay. So I'm just telling you the Kiso, what happened then. the first year that. Okay, I make a bit. So why did I go so sudden? You could have went home with it 12 o'clock at night. But give him back. He needs the money to buy breakfast. Come on.
I get them. I'm left to that's my money.
You get it. I mean, not get it back. Everybody gives it back to you. Okay. Well, call upon him.
Who says I have to accept it?
Okay. You don't have to accept it. We're giving it to you. Okay. So call upon him. What did I want to say? Yeah. So this was not $1 table.
Why you go to 770?
Huh?
Why did you go to 770?
Huh? Oh, why can't you tell me? Because the Ratten to teach us here till Tanya, 7 to 8, 6:30 to 7:30. And you thought it's from 8 to 9:30. A person who was sick of Bocha, here's the Ratten, he goes on 7 o'clock. He took a taxi home. So Sunday, he went home. So Bocha is, I want to go home. Could I go with you? So he wasn't there. He was sick, the Bocha. Things on Sunday. Here we're going. I want to go home. Go to the home, yes or no? What do you mean? He took another taxi for him to take him to his house. But he told him that he should not go to the home. So that's what we know. Before we go home, you go to Sun Sunday. We were young kids, 15 years old, but we knew that we had to go to Sun Sunday. That was the chinuch. But the Brickman always is saying. They was in Paris, and she experienced for a long time. And sister came to college. She asked Nissen if I could go home to see my sister. No. Then he asked me even on a Friday when everybody went to a market. There was no showers in the yeshiva then, but now you went to a market in the city. Like I was going to the market. Could I go and meet them that night? No. And the next time he asked me, could I go see my parents? I said yes. But why before you met me? Before you say you want to go home. Home you have to know this is the house. You want to see your parents? I can give you permission. So a Bacha knows who is the Haim? The Haim the Yod Zarchi.
The Haim Yod Zarchi.
The Haim the Yod Zarchi. The Haim is the family and the Maamar.
Loi spelled with a Vav.
Huh?
Loi with a Vav. Not an Aleph.
Okay. So I'll come from Teves, so we spoke about Teves. Fine. Good.